This is an opportunity to start going through past your comfort zone. And certainly the last 2 years has been, that's a really good description of it. It's been a push on people's comfort zone. Now, they had a problem with the death experience because while death seemed to be a key element all the way through, that changed, right? In the early phases of what we call the Old Kingdom, it seemed to be much more of an attempt to understand what's going to happen in the after-death transition state. And, I don't know what's going to happen for sure. You don't know what's going to happen for sure, but we can dig into a lot of stuff and get some ideas. And they seemed to be clear that there was a lot of tricks and deceptions, and they were preparing for that. But by the time we started hitting Middle and New Kingdom, you start to notice a shift that's starting to happen. You start to notice death is now being controlled by an elite priesthood, and there's now a special get into heaven free card, you might say. The priests have it, and if you have enough money, they'll do the ceremonies for you so that you can get to heaven, as opposed to the commoners who don't get this. So we already begin to see the specialness for the elite, non-specialness for the average person. And that concerns me again, because anything that tries to separate specialness heading into death is already concerning me as another deception. Two, what I would call really big fallacies in trying to understand this. The one is the Armageddon side, the other is the heaven side. Now, the standard, if you ask the average person what this realm is, or how it was created, an answer would be something like, there's a loving God or a loving deity who created this realm and created it as a place for our learning and our evolution, and so that we can spiritually grow and learn to be more loving and more kind. And then eventually, after we've done several lives here, we can rejoin this creator. And at the same time, this world is set up as a place where we can co-create, and we can experience all of our wishes if we want to, and our dreams can be fulfilled. And we have some suffering, but all the suffering is just teaching things to get us back to the creator. And so that would be the standard story, the standard foundation most would have. More similar to how the Cathars or the Gnostics or ancient civilizations or native traditions who see this world or see this reality as that there is like an absolute creator, what we can call a true good, or we can't call it a creator because it doesn't really create. It's just an absolute force. It's just there. And the problem is there was a false creator that was generated, depending on the mythology. We'll give you a different way how that happened. The Gnostics call it a demiurge. The Cathars call it Rex Mundi. There's various terms for it. And this demiurge created a copy of an original heavenly realm. And this copy is more like a simulation, artificial AI computer program, which then caused sparks of essence or sparks of the divine to be tricked in here. And once they were tricked in, you might say, combined with energy, souls were created. And once these souls were created, these souls could now be dropped deeper and deeper and deeper into layers of matter. And that's what our world has become. It's actually a realm that has only, at least as I can see it now, has only one purpose. That is as an energy generating farm for the energy to be hauled off, put back into the system, so that it's like a perpetual energy system to keep this flowing. I think of it like a whirlpool or a vortex, and it needs a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of flow of water to constantly keep the vortex going. And that's what I see our realm is. And now the ideas of Armageddon and the false idea of heaven play into keeping the vortex of continuous energy power sucking continuing, which is the best way to describe it. We're here to be a power source. The Matrix movie, which I consider Dark City to be genius, but that one part of the Matrix, which is kind of the Dark City 1.0, this idea of showing Neo that he's a battery, that is our realm. That is what we're here for as a material being, even at the point of our soul. And we want to get past all of that and return to our essence, which has nothing to do with this realm, has nothing to do with any of the things that have trapped us here. It's our essence that can leave. And so we have to start separating all of these ideas, all these concepts, to start seeing, well, what is true and what isn't. And that's so difficult to do, given we've been given so little true information about where we are.
So we get kind of conned into coming here, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Not only were we originally trapped, were we originally tricked to come in originally, we're tricked all the time. We're tricked and when we talk about Plato's cave, this is one thing I think is hard for people. Most people, when they envision that analogy, they think of it like the material realm, like the material world. That's Plato's cave. That's what I need to disengage from somehow. But Plato's cave is the material realm, the etheric realm, the astral realm, the angel realm, the super duper realm. It doesn't matter what realm you've got. If there's something where there's any form of possible duality, that's part of the cave. That's part of the delusion. And constantly, this realm is designed to distract us, trick us, deceive us, and like you say, give our authority over to something outside of ourselves, to stop the power within. Even prayer. The average person is taught prayer to pray to some force outside of themselves, which is probably just making them pray. By putting your energy on something outside of yourself, which you don't really know what it is. I mean, we pray to God or this deity or a power animal or a spirit being or an angel, but we don't really know that's where the energy is going. We really don't know what we're praying to. We're hoping that whatever I'm sending, it's like an energy focus, right? It's like an intent, and we don't know where we're sending this energy. And that's, I think, a dangerous element. It's an example of a dangerous element, because it's leaving ourselves open to manipulation and energy stealing. And why don't we learn to pray to ourselves? Why don't we learn to trust our own power? All I have been able to come to realize now, after my life and going through the lives of others, that I now consider this a suffering pit of hell. And that's all it really is. It's got elements where people can have very nice experiences, but the suffering will always come back. And even if it's not that bad, we're dealing with a problem of the memory wipe. And this is a real issue that really, that's when I really dug into the memory wipe. That's when it opened the door to me of how much this place is set up to lie to us. And I've now come to the conclusion that reincarnation is pretty much a 99.9% truth. And I know if someone's following a Western religion, they've been told not to believe this, even though it was in every religion right at its core. It's only the Western religions took it out of there 1,000 or 1,500 years ago. But it's been there in every tradition from the beginning. There's so many verifiable reincarnation experiences now, particularly from young children. There's so many interesting ones of how they have knowledge of another person's life. There's no way they could know pretty much without having lived it. But once you begin to understand that, okay, reincarnation is probably a truthful thing, we're told in the Eastern tradition, it's all linked to these ideas of karma and how good or bad you've been the last time, and that'll determine what happens the next time you come back. But the more you listen to certain types of near-death experiences, the ones who are not the standard white light, everybody loving grandma, but ones who are on the edge of those, and as you listen to some who've had pre-birth memories, and the key is always they're made to forget the last experience they've had and any other experiences, which means this can't be a place of learning. It can't be a place of growth. Because the only way you learn is you have an experience, you do something, you find out what worked or didn't work, and then you can do something different the next time. If you have to keep going life after life after life, doing the same thing over and over and over again, never actually taking with you the knowledge from previous lives, that tells you it's a type of trap already. It's very similar to Westworld, where the robots are, when they get killed in the field of play, and they're taken back, and of course they're patched up, they're fixed, and then they are memory wiped. They make sure that they can forget everything that's happened, so they can go back and get raped and killed and destroyed and used all over again. So we've got this weird underlying, and again, this, we might all have been tricked with this. We might all have had this as a way of coming back. Oh no, you can't leave yet. You've got this important mission to fulfill. Oh yeah, okay. And so we all have this feeling like, I've got this mission, I've got this important thing to complete. And when we always ask, well, what is it? I don't know, because we were never actually told what it is, because it wasn't important for the being sending us back to really give us a mission. They just wanted to give us the thought that we had a mission, so that we would keep ourselves busy and focused. Because if we realize, I don't actually have a mission, there's nothing I have to actually do here. All I have to do is see the truth. That's it. Once I see the truth, you might say I'm done. And that's not really a mission. That's just clarity. So all of this stuff begins to get so confusing when we start seeing it from, when we twist around 180 degrees and start asking, well, what the hell is all this stuff I've been doing my whole life? Why have I been doing it the way I've been doing it? And where did these ideas come from? Exactly. You win the game by not playing. Yes. And that's the great challenge here. We've been taught to focus on winning. We've been taught to focus on winning and losing matters. And this is the game is stacked against us, right? We're playing a game that is not set up for us at all to be successful. So the way to actually then be successful is to just turn left and say, yeah, I'm not interested in any of that. You go ahead and keep playing your game, but if you got nobody to play it anymore, the game ends.